or even go through the hurt and the memory. It's with God that we can do these things. And after it was all said and done, it was like nothing ever happened. I was back on my honeymoon again, adoring this man that I love, I was able to love, and love unconditionally. It's like, just day in and day out, whatever kind of stuff would happen, it's like I had nothing, and I stopped one day and I was thinking about it, and I was like, wow, just like nothing ever happened. And that day I was just so broken, and the days before that I was just so irritated, and I was like, hi honey, I'm so glad you all, I missed you so much. I felt like that. I was like, wow, that's cool. I was thinking about the story of Hannah, how, she went before the Lord, and she's just so broken. She didn't have a child, and her husband's other wife, had kids, and she would mock her all the time, and stuff. And here Hannah is with no kids, and where does she go? She goes to the temple, and she just cries her eyes out. And I can imagine that kind of cry, because I've had those cries where I'm just a mess, just boogers everywhere, and the whole floor is wet, and because it says that the priest couldn't even, he thought she was drunk because of the way that she was crying. She was just sobbing and stuff, and she laid it all down that day. And then I remember it says after that, it's like, and then she got up, and it's like she praised God, and her countenance changed, and she walked, and she was on her way. It's like, see, there's something about doing that with God. It's something about being there, and yes, you're laying down your burdens, but it's more than that. It's like not just saying, God, here, take it. It's actually sitting there and saying, God, it's like, this really hurts, or God, this really concerns me. I went through a time where I kept hearing horrible stories about my sister, how the boyfriend was beating her up, and how he was treating my nephew so bad, and hating my nephews really bad, and how my brother saw him actually pick up my sister and slam him on the ground. Hearing these horror stories of my sister, and constantly coming to me day after day. I would hear it. Richard would come and tell me these things, just what was going on, and how they were being treated there, and again I was like, I had to be purposeful in going to prayer, God, because honestly, in those times when you're holding those unforgiveness, in those times that you're holding those hurts, is like the last thing you want to do is pray. The last thing you want to do is go to your Bible. That's the last thing I want to do. It's the last thing I want to, go to God. I don't know why, honestly, I said, but that's what I found all the time. Whenever I'm hurt, I don't want to pray. I don't want to go to my word. I'm the meanest person ever. I talk mean to my children. I'm horrible to my kids. I withdraw myself from people. I don't want to be around anybody. And I'm horrible. I'm just spewing poison on everybody. And so I went to prayer, and I stayed there, and I had to forgive that man. And I was like, God, I forgive him for slamming my sister on the ground. And honestly, a lot of stuff I imagined those things because I wasn't there to see it, but the things that I've imagined in my head about this man was he's the most horrible guy in the whole entire world. I don't ever want to meet him. If I ever do, I hope he dies. That's how I felt. I was like, I want this man to die. I was like, the only way my sister would be free if this man was dead. And I was like, God, we would be better if this man died. I was at that place. I thought, I want this man to die. But when I sat there in prayer, and I realized, but God, you died for him too. And God, you love him too. He's just another broken person. Another person giving what he has, because that's all he has. Because if he doesn't have you, he has no love. If he doesn't have you, he has nothing good to give. And so I had to sit there thinking that, God, you would forgive him. I was thinking, so God, I forgive him. I choose to forgive him. I forgive him for doing this, and I forgive him for doing that. And I have to tell you, it wasn't only one day I did it. I went back the next day, and I did it again. And I went back the next day and I did it again. And I did it over and I did it over and I did it over. And I'll pray blessings on this land. And I would ask God that He would even send neighbors to this land, that he might know the truth, and that the truth would set him free, and that he would know that he is valued and that he is loved, and who he is today is not the man that you created him to be. You know, he was made in your likeness and in your image, God. And I just prayed those things over this man, and continuously. And I don't know what's going on in their lives. I don't look for the results. I don't look for change. I just know that I can lay these things, like how we hear over and over again, lay these things at the foot of the cross, lay these things at Jesus, and He'll take care of it. I don't know how, I don't know when, I just know that I made my petitions, and I gave it to Him. And I did. I could honestly probably see this man today and not even feel 1 ounce of hatred towards him. Just only compassion and mercy, because I know what it's like to walk around with the bitterness and the hatred, because you're so poisoned by the unforgiveness in your heart that's settled in there for so long that sometimes it's so deep within you, you don't even realize it's there. Sometimes it's so deep within you, you walk around life forgetting. But somehow God has a way of showing these things to us. Somehow He has a way of getting our attention. I just know that this God that we serve is an amazing God. And I'm glad that I didn't give up in those times that I felt like He wasn't listening in prayer. I'm glad that I didn't give up in those times that I felt like He left me alone and there's nothing and no one. Because I remember that there was a time that I was feeling alone. I felt there was nobody I could go to. And I sat there and I just closed my eyes. And I said, but God, You're here. It's a lie that I'm alone, because You're here. And I just remember this comfort coming over me, just knowing the fact that there was somebody always there. And how much people that are in the world that don't even have that hope or have that promise or even believe that there's a God that loves them enough to be there, because they're so messed up, because they've done so much horrible things. But yet I was there, and it was like, I'm not alone. And that realization of not being alone was an amazing realization, because in the moment that I felt that I was alone, there's this craziness that comes over me. I can feel this insaneness hover over me of feeling alone. And I come to realize, it's like, I wonder if those people out in the streets that are just talking to themselves, that are just, just going nuts to the, just flailing in the air, I was like, I wonder if that's the craziness that they're going through, the craziness of feeling alone, the craziness of going through all this turmoil within them and have nothing and no one to go to, and they just go over the board and just crazy, because I felt that craziness feeling, and I've seen it, but through that crazy feeling, I sat and I stayed there with God, and I didn't move, and I said, no, God, I know that I'm not alone. And I took the scriptures and I took who He was, and I stayed there and I said, no, God, I'm not alone. I know You're here, and I thank You that You're here. And I began to thank Him that He was there, and I didn't feel the mushy feeling, I didn't feel anything, but I just took what the scripture said, and I said, no, but You are here. This is truth, this is truth, this is true. And I took it for what it was, and I ran with it. Now I see such a difference in prayer. Now when I go to my knees, and there's just such a peace there. Sometimes I don't even say anything, and it's a place of peace. Sometimes I'm not even there to even ask or petition anything. I'm just like, God, I just want to know You more. I just want to just be here. I don't even want nothing from You. Just the very fact that I just want to know You. Just want to know You more. I just want to know You more. And that's where my heart's been recently, is just, there's more to this than I see. There's more to this than I feel. There's so much more to You, God, that I'm not satisfied. Or I'm not, I get down on myself sometimes, because I feel like Hugh Kaiser said, he's doing all these conferences and stuff, and he feels so inadequate, That's exactly how I feel sometimes. I'm doing kids group and I feel so inadequate. I was like, God, why me? I'm so horrible at kids. Well, at least I feel like everybody's like, you're so wonderful at kids. I was like, really? Because I don't see it. But yet he told me to do these things. I was like, I'm not qualified. I was like, look, being over here in the pulpit speaking to you guys, mostly people that go to seminary school or whatever, doing this kind of stuff. or like people that are like Christians, like longer than me would be doing stuff like this. But I thank God that he challenges us. I thank God he brings us out of a place of comfort and brings us to a place where we're uncomfortable. Because then we realize that when we do things, it isn't in our own strength. It isn't what we had planned. It isn't the things that, that we're so equipped in. It's just, no, it's like the things that we actually can sit and get taught by God through the mistakes and through the your pride being challenged and things like that. And so I guess I'm here just to encourage everyone. Like, I know we keep hearing pray. I know we keep hearing lay it all down at Jesus' feet. What I'm here to say is, like, just keep going. Don't stop. Like, I know sometimes our lives can get busy, especially as a pastor or as a mom or as a working person, that it's easy to be like, I'm too tired, or there's no time. And with us moms with 7, 12 kids, it can feel like that. But I feel like if something is important enough, we'll make the time. I mean, if I can find the time to lay down and read a book, I can find time to talk with God. If I can find time to sit down in front of a television, I can find time to spend time with God. If I can find time to sit down and do a puzzle book or something, then I can find time for God. If I can sit down and grumble and complain, I can find time with God. There's always time. It's just, will we take the time? Is Facebook really worth it? Is missing your TV show that you followed all the seasons, and you just don't want to miss that one episode because you're going to miss out who's going to die next, then he's worth the time, football games, right? He's worth the time. And honestly, we need that time. We need that time. If Jocelyn and I have a hard time spending time together, I can feel that disconnection. I can feel that there's like just something missing. And so there's times that we have to take the kids out of the room, and be like, no, Mom and Daddy needs to talk. We really need to talk. So when Jesus tells us, don't be like the hypocrites going on the streets and be like praying around everybody. But he says, go into the secret place. Get alone with him. Get alone with your Father. And be there with him. And I've seen it. I see it so much in the scriptures, how he goes to the mountain and he prays. He goes by himself, and he's a busy man. I mean, how much thousands and thousands of people are pulling at him, touching him because they want to be healed, following him around because they fed him with, just a little bit of fish and loaves, and he's getting pulled out, but he found time. He found the time to go and pray. I was looking at the scripture on Peter, how he had gone on the rooftop. I was like, he went on the rooftop. Maybe sometimes we need to get on the rooftop and get away from it all and be there with God. But yeah, and how he went into that trance, right? And it said that he was hungry. I was reading it. It said that he was hungry. And how did God speak to him? With food. And I was like, wow, God, you're so cool, a way of getting to us. So I'm thinking, it's like, wow, it's like, we get into prayer, and our busy life, starts clicking in our head, how to calculate our budget and stuff. What if God comes in a vision, and I don't know, does something crazy like that? But I was thinking how, God had done that with Peter. He had took in that situation that Peter was hungry, and he used that situation to, tell him something in a trance. It's like, Peter, rise up and eat this. And he was like, I ain't eating that. I don't eat nothing unclean, and he did it 3 times.